Welcome here today, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of NASCAR Heat 5 on the channel. We've got a full race live stream coming for you guys tonight, an after cup race edition of it. First and foremost, before we get into all the playoff details and into the stream in depth, I want to apologize for a couple things here. First and foremost, this race was supposed to be earlier today at noon Eastern Standard Time. I was not able to get it in. I was stuck at Verizon for a lot longer than what I needed. For those of you that have watched the stream over the course of this pretty much entire week, my phone broke on Tuesday, and the only chance I had to get a new phone until next Thursday would have been today. And so I tried to get that done this morning. Got there at like 10 a.m. I didn't leave until probably a little after 2. It was like quarter after 2, somewhere around there. So by the time I got home, it was about an hour and a half before the race was supposed to start at 4. If I would have known they were going to start at 5, I probably could have gotten the race in anyway. But anyway, we're here. No power rankings video for this week because I was not able to get home in time. I was thinking I was going to be in and out of there in like an hour, maybe 2 hours at the most. I did not think I was going to be in there for 4 hours. So that was a bummer. But regardless of the fact, we are here now. And we are set for action tonight. So regular season finale at Watkins Glen, the second race at Watkins Glen on the season. Jimmie Johnson won the first race here on the season, leading 89 of the 90 laps. Led all the green flag laps in the race. We'll see if he can go for a win here today. He clinched the regular season title. He's looking for career win number 100 here tonight after a heartbreaking loss at Michigan yesterday. Well, it wasn't necessarily ours to lose necessarily or ours to win. We were one of the better cars, but we weren't necessarily the best. And obviously, Denny Hamlin got his first win of the season last night. He would have been locked in on points anyway, but with that win, gives him an additional 5 playoff points. He sits third in the regular season standings. You see Kyle Busch is already locked in on points. Ryan Newman is locked in on points. Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, all locked in on points. Blaney, Hamlin, Harvick all with wins. Truex has a win. Logano has a win. Clint Boyer is locked in on points also. So is Eric Almirola. So here is the cut line right now, also locked in on wins. Ty Dillon has 2 wins, and Ricky Stenhouse has 1 win. So the bubble coming into today's race looks like this, right at the top of the standings here. 13th in the playoff standing points currently, and in above the cut line is Christopher Bell. Last driver in on points is Alex Bowman by 15 points. Christopher Bell is ahead by 18 points over Matt Kenseth, and then Chase Elliott only 1 point behind Kenseth. So those 4 drivers, only 2 of them will get in on points. We have 14 spots locked up, 2 more spots yet to look out for. So we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on that throughout the course of the race. Rod G, Oni, Billy Kramer, Cooper Gaming, welcome to the stream, everybody. So here we go. I'll have to get locked in on this one. By the way, I got another comment about not racing on the hardest mode. This is 105 for the AI difficulty. Boom, there we go. We have relaxed yellows on because it's a road course today, so always have road course yellows on here. As usual, just clarifying. I was told I raced on the easiest mode, and that's why I win a lot. That is not the case. Okay, so we're using the steering wheel here tonight, by the way, at Watkins Glen. This will be the first time I'm using a steering wheel on a road course on NASCAR Heat 5. You guys saw me do it on Heat 4 numerous times, but first time on Heat 5, so this should be pretty fun. We are still scheduled for noon Eastern Standard Time for tomorrow's race, by the way. Mr. McCouse, welcome to the stream. Jackson Thomas, welcome to the stream. So, yep, still looking to start the playoffs for the Cup Series side on NASCAR Heat 5 tomorrow at noon. That is not going to change. It's just simply today's start time was the only one that had to change, unfortunately. But we are going to get going at regular time. So, no practice here for this race, but we will have session qualifying as usual for these road courses. So, without further ado, let's get on into this. Joseph Then, welcome to the stream also. So here we go. Session qualifying. These are the only laps of, I guess, what you would call practice for Jimmie Johnson here as we get set with the steering wheel. Watkins Glen. Hopefully the handling of the race car is fine. 750 horsepower racetrack as usual at the road courses. 4th road course race of the season now. And again, second time at Watkins Glen. We still go to the Charlotte Roval in the playoffs for the cutoff race in the round of 16. Championship mode, custom schedule, regular season finale here tonight on the channel. And the chase for 8 with Jimmy Johnson. Johnson qualified second for this race earlier this season. He does have 2 poles on the year, though. Nevertheless, he's looking for his 3rd here tonight. Well, round 1, just got to make sure he gets into the top 12. Once he qualifies for the top 12, he can advance to round 2. So he's just looking to run 2 solid laps here. Only a 90-lap race. Fairly quick one. A little bit of smoke rolling out of the car. Really hard on the brakes through turn 1, trying to gain as much time as he can, but that's okay in qualifying. Big bounce off the curbing that time. Ross Chastain going to get in the way on this qualifying lap for Johnson through turn 5. Not sure how much time that's going to cost Jimmy. Backing it up in turn 6 pretty well, though. Turn 7 a little wide in 7. Still got to the gas at a decent rate. Johnson will run 1 more lap here. 108.507 will be the lap 1 time for Jimmy Johnson. Through turn 1 that time, runs a little wide on exits. Oh, just slapped the wall, barely. Trying to see how close we could cut it. Cut it too close for comfort there. And that's going to kill a little bit of time off of turn 1. Post-race analysis video is in the process of uploading. It should be uploaded within a half hour, by the way, for those of you guys that were wondering. Oh boy, so I'm not going to really comment on the race that happened today too much, because that video will be uploaded on the channel if it isn't already very shortly. I'll try to look in the chat as much as possible. It's usually harder on the road courses. I'm using the steering wheel tonight, as you guys see, so that can be kind of difficult also, but I'll do the best I can. So lap 1 was a little quicker for Johnson. He does qualify 7th in round 1. Newman top of the charts in round 1 total right then and there. Saudia, welcome to the stream. GJ Coasters, welcome to the stream. The vid just got uploaded. Gotcha. Thanks. Let me know, guys. Yep, road course race. Next online stream, yep, tomorrow at noon. Richmond playoff opener, around to 16, so it should be a lot of fun. So on to round 2. We got 10 minutes to try and set the quick time, so let's hurry up, get out of the pit box as quick as possible here. So I'll take 7th in round 1, but Jimmy Johnson trying to go for his 3rd pole of the season, his first on a road course this year. He's qualified 2nd on a road course twice this season and 13th in the other one at the Charlotte Roval, but we'll see what Johnson's got. Again, qualified 2nd here last time. We'll see what this time will bring. Bus stop seems to be where he gains the most time. Remember, we did use the controller the first time we raced here, so a little different. Using the steering wheel this time around. Probably going to be working up a sweat by the end of the race. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, really wide in turn 6. Had to get on the brakes early to actually make it into turn 7. Still had, despite the awkward angle, a pretty good turn off of turn 7. He's going to carry a lot of speed down this longer straightaway of the racetrack. Downhill into the hard 90-degree right-hand turn 1. Really solid start to the opening lap of round 2 of qualifying. Again, a 108.507 was his lap time Fastest of the 2 laps in round 1. Pretty good uphill through the carousel. Gained quite a bit of time there. Didn't really run too much over that little bit of a hump on the exit of the carousel. Now into the bus stop chicane. Oh, he gassed it up really well. This is looking like a solid lap for Johnson. Still 3 more quarters to go. Really solid through turn 7. Probably could have actually gotten back to the gas just a little bit sooner. Really letting that car ride up on the exit of the corner. First lap is a 107.831, about a half a second faster. Over a half a second faster than what the round 1 time was. Ryan Newman was in the 107 bracket area for his top time back in that opening round, but he did run a little bit quicker than Johnson's first lap here, so there is room for improvement definitely for Jimmy. Despite that being a pretty good start, Martin Truex Jr. not far ahead of Jimmy Johnson, and you got to say, hopefully the 19 doesn't get in the way of the 48, but he's going to get in the way of him here. Johnson had to check up a little bit more than what he wanted to. Johnson still all over the back of Truex. Johnson can't get back to the gas when he wants to here in turn 5, and that is costing him a ton of time on this lap. And finally, oh, looks like Truex is going to get around him. They almost came together. Johnson going to get around Truex here into turn 6. So hopefully, come the next lap, Jimmy Johnson should be traffic free, it looks like, for lap number 3. Definitely running in deep into turn 1. Not too shabby. Kyle Busch second on the charts right now with a 108.268, about 0.4 of a second off of where Johnson's time is. Johnson really messes up big time through the carousel. Had to get on the brakes right before the point where he really wanted to get back on the gas, and that has already messed up his lap time here. So Jimmy will hit pit road for 4 fresh tires this time by. Trying to get the car back out there. Bowman P2, just a little less than 0.2 of a second off Johnson's time. Bowman, one of the drivers on the cut line coming into the race today. He's looking for a strong run at Watkins Glen. Again, final race of the regular season for this one. So Johnson on to pit road this time. Kind of practicing the pit stop as well. 40 miles an hour is the pit road speed limit for tonight's race. Jackson Pittner, Patrick Shadley, welcome to the stream. S Slurpee, welcome to the stream. Yeah, this is on a PS4. King, also welcome to the stream. And I believe I got everybody that's in the chat so far. So yeah, this is on a PS4. Yeah, SS Carousel, same thing. Uphill, like it's... I honestly don't even know what the difference is between a carousel and the SS. Like, is it the same thing, or am I always thought it was the same thing. I always thought if it was uphill, it was considered a carousel. I always thought downhill was SS. Because at Sonoma, there's like 2 of them. And the one that goes uphill, I thought was the carousel. And the one that goes downhill on the backside of the racetrack, I thought that was the S's. I could be wrong. Shane Pinky, welcome to the stream. Kyle Busch just in front of where Johnson's running right now. Kyle Busch still P3. And still a few minutes left to go in qualifying right here. Johnson a little wide in turn 7. That's not going to be a good start to this first lap on these fresh 4 Goodyear tires he's got on the car with about 3.5 minutes to go in qualifying, but he can still get a couple laps in after this likely. Probably going to be another 3-lap stint to the end of qualifying. 20 people watching. Thanks for everybody tuning in. We got the race started up here pretty soon. Trying to get Jimmie Johnson his 3rd pole of the season, first on a road course this year. He's qualified 2nd on a road course twice. This is the 4th road course race of the season. He has won 2 of the 3, finishing 6th at the Charlotte Roval, but he did win at Sonoma and Watkins Glen already this year. Joey Logano up to P3. It's actually a decent lap. It just doesn't seem like Kyle Busch is really pulling away from Johnson at all here. Jimmy could get a little bit of a draft off of Kyle Busch. I think that's going to help him out a ton. Jimmy a little wide in turn 6. Not too wide though. Actually got really good run through turn 7 regardless. Pretty even with Kyle Busch all in all that last lap. Neither of the two set a best time there. See who's going to get through turn 1 better. Tough to tell. I think Busch did slightly, but Johnson kind of beat him back to the gas. Had to run a little wider, but a little tight uphill. A little late to go from 3rd to 4th. But this is where Johnson gains the most time, is through the bus stop chicane. Oh, and he might overrun the corner, and he's trying to stay off the 18, but they make contact. And qualifying nonetheless. Johnson was carrying way too much speed in there. And they got really tight, trying to keep it off the 18 rather of Kyle Busch, but couldn't do it. And that's going to slow both of their laps down here on this lap. And they're going to have at least one more lap, maybe 2. Well, with Kyle Busch being right there in front of Johnson, I don't know if Jimmy's going to be able to set a faster lap time. A little wide through turn 1. That dirty air is not helping the 48 of Johnson whatsoever. Black Ace, welcome to the stream. Johnson ran it a little harder that time, but oh, I think he got it in the back of Busch. It was tough to tell through turn 5 there. Either way, he had to check up, and again, time lost that Johnson probably shouldn't have lost there. Let's get it back out of the gas a little early. Nobody out of the rear view. So as long as Johnson gets back to the start-finish line to start the lap, he could get one more lap in officially. But not a good corner through turn 7, though, a little wide there. So try to get on the brakes, separating himself from Kyle Busch. He hits the line with 6 seconds to go, so one more lap for Jimmie Johnson in qualifying. And I believe Johnson will be the last driver to complete a lap, so we'll have to see if anybody will top the charts in front of him. Kyle Busch now being held up by another driver up ahead of him. Busch tries to get around him uphill through the S's. Again, we'll try to get that correction on whether it's a carousel or an S's before the race starts. Busch is able to get around. Oh, Austin Dillon. Johnson just completely cut the corner. Slams into the guardrail. Heavy damage to the 48 car. Well, good news is he should have the pole. We shouldn't have to go to the rear because of that. And Austin Dillon, I guess, was going to get in the way anyway, but man, this car's gotten really tight now through turn 6. Luckily, it's just qualifying. Definitely a mistake on my behalf, that is for sure. Johnson runs really wide through 7, getting back into the gas as quickly as he can, but Johnson, top of the charts here, should have the pole. We'll have to wait. And he does. Jimmie Johnson, top of the charts with a 107.831. Only driver to run a 107 lap time in round 2 of qualifying. Alex Bowman, starting on the front row also. How about that? Hendrick Motorsports on the front row. Yeah, I don't know when I can get view carousel as a 270-degree turn. Gotcha. Alistair Moore, welcome to the stream. Yeah, this was 105 for the difficulty on Expert. I showed it right at the start of the stream what the settings were on. So, just to prove, because again, I got it after the Atlanta race, I believe it was. Even though Michigan, I finished 8th, you know, and I struggled to lead a lot of laps in that one. I didn't lead a lot. I didn't even lead the most, so I think Harvick led the most laps in that race. But yeah, what's the record for the most people tuned in? 35 is the most, and that was at the Charlotte Roval, not this Thursday, but the Thursday beforehand. So that's what we're looking at here. So maybe we could break the record tonight. Again, regular season finale. Again, quick reminder: playoff bubble. Christopher Bell, 18 points ahead of the cut line. Alex Bowman, 15 points ahead of the cut line. Matt Kenseth is minus 15. And Chase Elliott is minus 16 coming into this race tonight. So those are the guys that we have to keep an eye on throughout the course of the race. I'll do my best as we work our way through this regular season finale. Ty Dillon, starting at the rear of the field, the only driver to drive to the rear. Clint Boyer doesn't look very fast, but he's already locked in on points. Again, 14 drivers are locked in coming into this race today. Jimmy Johnson and Alex Bowman will lead the field of the green. Johnson with his 3rd pole of the season, trying to win the regular season finale. Here we go at Watkins Glen. 90 laps of racing underway. Green flag in the air in the regular season finale. Turn 1, lap 1. Johnson easily way out ahead of Alex Bowman. Clean air, a big factor when coming to these road course races. So difficult to pass. Johnson needs to stay on his A game all day today. Can't make a mistake. He never really made one in the last race here. Leading 89 of the 90 laps, all the green flag laps. In fact, the only lap he didn't lead was under caution. 1 lap, Ryan Blaney led over him by beating him off a pit road during one of the cautions. It's likely to be a 2 to 3 stop race today as well. We'll have to keep an eye on that as the race goes forward. And already, I think Alex Bowman is maybe holding back some of these guys. We have seen Logano perform very well in the road courses this season. He was actually the winner in the last road course race. Logano's 1 win this season with the Charlotte Roval. Nobody was able to touch him that day. He was by far the fastest car. So we'll see if that's the case again here today. Logano has gotten by Bowman. Bowman dropping back quickly. Maybe the car was too trimmed out. Qualified 2nd. But again, on the cut line coming into the race today as Jimmy Johnson will lead lap 1 at Watkins Glen. And Joey Logano trying to run down the 48 of Johnson here in the opening laps of the race. Johnson had about 2 or 3 cars that were able to hang with him on the restarts in the last race. But once we got into lap traffic, Johnson was able to pull away. So once we got about 15 laps into a run, he was able to pull away. Other than that, speed-wise, he was pretty steady throughout the course of the run. Didn't really have a short or long run car. It was pretty consistent all the way through. So that is something to also look at as the race carries on for ourselves, along with the playoff bubble. But Alex Bowman already 5 seconds off the lead back and forth. He's holding up Almirola, who has finished in the top 5 in each of the first 3 road course races of the season. Or sorry, the first 2. He has finished in the top 10 in all 3. I believe he finished 6th in the last road course race. Or no, I finished 6th. He finished 8th, my bad. Got my numbers all fudged up here. But nonetheless, Bowman needs to hang on for every spot he can. 15 points is not comfortable, even though there are no stages. By no means is he locked in. If we get a new winner here today that is below the cut line, which is possible on a road course race. We have seen upset winners at Watkins Glen in the past. A lot of them are road course ringers, but even still. Logano kind of staying pretty even with Johnson. He's gained a couple tenths here in the last lap or 2. believe we're actually only on lap 3, so he gained a couple tenths that last lap. Johnson's just so good through the bus stop. He's able to really pull away through the bus stop, through turn 5. 6, 7, and turn 1 seems to be the worst 3 corners on the track for Johnson, where Logano seems to gain the most time, especially in turn 6. Definitely can't make a mistake here today, that is for sure. But only 3 laps in, a pretty decent lead so far again. And how about Denny Hamlin? He's 3.5 seconds off the lead in third. He got up there pretty quickly, but he's not really losing any ground either since he got that spot. Eric Almirola's moved up to 4th. Bowman now barely hanging on to a top 5 position. And again, Chase Elliott, one of the guys trying to catch him. Elliott has won the last 2 Watkins Glen races in real life. And we'll see if he can perform well here today and finish well. Unfortunately, it looks like one of those 2 Hendrick cars will not make the playoffs. Between Bowman and Elliott, Byron also likely going to miss the playoffs unless he pulls off a win here today. Ryan Newman now into the top 5. So Bowman, who started second, is outside of the top 5 already, just a handful of laps into the race. Nobody really breathing down the neck of Johnson right now, although Logano's keeping pace with him at about 2 seconds off the lead. Only on lap 5, but Jimmy Johnson, it's not a comfortable lead by any stretch of the imagination, but the fact that Jimmy Johnson isn't ahead by, minimal car lengths, he's not having to put a lot of pressure on the brakes in the corners and be put at risk of making a mistake. He can run his own race here early on. Curb's very violent on the road courses as usual as well. I think if we get a restart or 2 in this race, remember we only had, I believe 3 cautions in this race last time, 3 or 4. I can't remember the exact number. I know we had more than 2 because we've had 3 races with 2 cautions. This wasn't one of them. But on all the road course races this season, we have not had a lot of cautions. So you definitely have to strike with the opportunity at hand on the restarts throughout the course of the race today. But I think we kind of knew coming into this race Johnson would be the guy to beat. And remember, final race of the regular season, to get any sort of playoff points Jimmy can. No stages on the line, so strictly going for the win here. 5 more playoff points. He has won the regular season title already, and he does have a decent amount of wins this year. But you know why this one would be special? This would be Jimmy Johnson's 100th career victory. If we can get him the win here tonight, he'd be the 3rd driver in NASCAR Cup Series history to do that, and the first since, well, back in the 70s when David Pearson and Richard Petty were getting all those wins back in the 60s and 70s. So it's been a long time since a NASCAR Cup Series driver has gotten to this feat, and Jimmy Johnson is definitely close. Logan Corbin, welcome to the stream. Haiti, welcome to the stream also. Again, I'm going to try to look at the chat as much as I can. Road courses are hard in general to do that. With me using the steering wheel on this one here tonight, it's going to be a little harder, but again, I'll do my best as usual. Again, try to do these realistic broadcasts, but as well, trying to communicate with you guys in the chat throughout the course of the race as much as possible. So tire wear is a big factor anytime you come to a road course. We talk about the big keys and the big factors to the race. That is going to be one of them. Once we get to 30% or below on tire wear remaining on the tire for any one of the tires, it doesn't matter which one they are, the car just loses a ton of grip. I think with using the steering wheel today, we saw that we were a very capable driver of wrecking even the last time we were at Watkins Glen or any of the other 2 road course races we've raced at this season, that we're going to have to minimize that by probably short pitting throughout the course of the race. We don't have to worry about losing a lap, and if a caution does come out after we had pit and nobody else pits, at least we could cycle back into the lead. Will the field have fresher tires behind us? Yes, but again, it's so hard to pass the lead car unless there's lap traffic around. But again, we got through the lap traffic the best of anybody in the last Watkins Glen race, so we'll just have to see how that's going to work out so far today. Garrett Master 2000, welcome to the stream. Logano Johnson back and forth here pretty much as far as who's running faster laps. It's really inconsistent between the 2. One lap Logano's faster, the next lap Johnson's faster, and vice versa. It's really tough to tell who's got the fastest car. We'll have to see if the 22 can ever get to the lead on a restart, if maybe he can stay in the lead, or if not pull away from Jimmy, and that's how we're really going to be able to tell if Logano's got that fast of a car. Again, he won the last road course race at the Roval, and it wasn't that long ago either. I believe that was race 17 on the season, so just 10 races ago. Fairly recent from the last road course race on the Cup Series side. Almirola still in 4th. Newman still rounds out the top 5. And still no sign of Bowman since fading outside of the top 5, or any lap cars for that matter. Lilo Z Mutter, welcome to the stream. Yep, first race of the playoffs is next, tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time for the Cup Series. Richmond will be the first race of the playoffs. Night racing at Richmond, might I add. So we raced there earlier on the season. We won that race, but it was a day race. Not one of our better tracks. Again, the playoffs are really, really harsh on us as far as the tracks that we are probably not good at for the most part. The only track on there I feel somewhat comfortable with is Bristol. But even then, to get through 500 laps of a Bristol night race is definitely tough to not DNF in. So that makes it tough of itself. But that's probably the track that's most in my wheelhouse. And we did have to fight a lot for the first 2/3 of that race. First time we raced there before we got the win. So, but we got to make it to that point first because that's in the round of 12. So, with a lot of playoff points, I think we should be able to get to the top through the top 16, no problem. The round of 12 will be a little bit harder, but again, I think the playoff points are going to help. It's really going to come down to that round of 8 and how we perform, because we don't want to go into Talladega, you know, for sure having to win, because that's the last race of the round of 8. Neither do we want to go in there knowing we need a lot of points in that race to also just to point our way in. So it's going to put a lot of pressure on for sure. And the cutoff race for the round of 12 is Daytona, so for that matter too, same thing goes. But with as many playoff points as we have, it should be good enough regardless of how we run the first 6 races. I don't see us really missing the round of 12, so it's a good thing we perform well in the regular season. Johnson about to catch lap traffic here very shortly, but Joey Logano's closing in. Closer Johnson gets to the lap traffic. He's only got about a 1-second lead. And he's closing in on Fincham, and boy, he caught him in a terrible spot right into that bus stop chicane. Johnson's best portion of the racetrack goes around him on the outside through turn 5, but again, Logano's closed the gap. Too bad lap traffic is nearing, because we'll have to see how Logano's going to get through it. Biladex, welcome to the stream. Still 5 more lap cars right in front of Jimmy Johnson. Sweeping to the inside, Joey Gase, Michael McDowell. Oh, a little contact as he just cleared Joey Gase. Gase got it in the back of Johnson. Side by side with the lap cars behind us now after that contact Gase made. McDowell able to get right back around him. Man, Johnson's driving it in deep. And poor Matt Kenseth. Kenseth is having a terrible run right now. He's in 35th. He was 15 points below the cut line coming into the race today, and if he's that far back, he is going to be a non-factor as far as making the playoffs go. Kenseth was going to need a top 10 run likely to even have a chance to catch Bowman, despite how Bowman will run. So it looks like it's basically between Elliott, Bowman, and Bell, 2 of which will get in. We'll have to see how the other lap cars are running. But yeah, Kenseth, the first domino probably to fall in this race, unless there's a DNF for any of those other 3 drivers, which is very well possible. Wide in turn 6, no problem. But yeah, Johnson pulling back ahead. This is the largest lead he's had so far today. 5 seconds on Joey Logano. So what he's going to need is the long green flag runs, strung out through lap traffic. He gets through the traffic very well here compared to everybody else. These guys in must-win situations back here. Eric Jones, William Byron. Not good for them either. Really anybody in a must-win situation, none of which are in the top 5 at least right now. So basically looking on the bubble as far as the points go. Johnson shoots the gap on Eric Jones there to get around him. Have to go to the outside into turn 5 on Bobby Carter. About missed the corner. Almost. Barely keeping it on the racetrack though. And a zoom by teammate William Byron also, who was in 32nd. And Byron started off the first. He was going to be a playoff contender, but he has really fallen off second half of the regular season. He's had a lot of terrible runs, a couple DNFs in there, and just like that, William Byron is not going to make the playoffs. Kurt Busch into the top 5. He's gotten around Ryan Newman. Yeah, Johnson's not going to be able to shoot the gap on Quinn Houff there. Houff was a little bit too far ahead of him. Caution's out for the first time. First caution of the race on lap 14 here today at Watkins Glen. Take a look here. Alex Bowman currently in 12th, Chase Elliott in 7th. So currently as we run, Alex Bowman is 10 points ahead of Chase Elliott on the cut line. Or sorry, 11 points ahead of Elliott. Christopher Bell in 20th. Came in 18 points ahead of Elliott. Christopher Bell only 5 points to the good as we run. Johnson not going to give up the track position, but it's weird that Denny Hamlin is. Hamlin is going to be the only driver in the lead lap to pit. Quinn Houff will get the free pass. Lasagna, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I thought it was an epic race at Michigan for sure, too. I thought it was the best race I've seen at Michigan since the repave. For sure. That's even with me going there in person 5 times in that span, so we'll see how this first restart of the race is going to work out. Jimmy Johnson has the advantage. He's led every lap of the race so far, but Logano much closer to Johnson on the restart. Instead, where Logano had qualified 3rd, he had to get around Bowman. It took him a couple laps earlier. So we'll see. It looks like the battle's between Christopher Bell and Chase Elliott right now on the cut line. If Bowman could just stay inside the top 15, he should be able to lock himself in. No problem. Boy, if Elliott found his way to victory lane today, then the battle would be between Bowman and Bell, and it looks like Bowman would have it as of right now by a couple points. Still a little bit of a ways to go. Almirola up to 3rd, by the way, on the restart. Almirola Finished top 3 here last time. 3 most dominant cars, I'm pretty sure you could say, over the course of this season on the road courses has been Johnson, Logano, Almirola, specifically in that order that we run currently. Only fitting that they're there again here today. We'll have to keep an eye on that in the Roval and a couple races too. So again, we'll be racing there in 3 races for the final race of the round of 16. The cutoff race for that one. Johnson went a little wide there. Big hop off the curbing into turn 5 also. Definitely wasn't his best run through the bus stop chicane. Broken Jr., welcome to the stream. A little wide in turn 6 there for Jimmy. Actually got through turn 7 pretty well despite running wide in 6. Oh, well, it spoke too soon. Johnson gets back to the gas a little bit early and just runs a hair wide. It's just going to wear out the left sides even more, it looks like. Johnson surprisingly didn't lose that much ground off of turn 7 by doing that though either. He's making very minor mistakes right now, but nonetheless, they are mistakes he probably shouldn't be making. Logano staying within about a second. You can just get a couple car lengths closer and really put the pressure on Johnson. A little wide through turn 6 that time for Jimmy. Logano's going to gain a little bit more time through turn 7 again. Johnson off the curbing. Didn't get back to the gas a little too soon that time. A lot better through turn 7 that lap for Johnson, but Logano's coming. Johnson goes down low to break the draft. Lap 20 already in the race today. Logano hugged the curbing on the inside. Johnson purposely ran a little bit wider above the curbing off the exit of turn 1. Trying to use that access road as much as he could, breaking as much draft before going through the S's. Yeah, Daytona road courses next week for all 3 series. I think the ARCA series is racing there too, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely going to be wild, I think, to say the least. It might not start off wild. I think there's going to be a little bit of sensitivity going on. But at some point, you're going to see drivers getting aggressive towards the end of the race as usual, especially if they're on the bubble, playoff bubble. Johnson a little bit faster than Logano that last lap. It was actually the fastest lap of the race. Johnson has run 107.502. It was the fastest lap Johnson has ran all race weekend, faster than his qualifying lap. So Jimmy just put together a really solid lap there. All in all, he tries to pull away from Joey Logano as much as he can, at least. Fastest lap Johnson has ever ran here was in the last race of 107.425, but we still got quite a ways this race yet to go to get to that point. Look how fast Johnson is just flying through the bus stop chicane and into turn 5. I mean, he absolutely gained a ton of time there. Maybe out of the gas a little too long through turn 5, using a little bit of the curbing. Not terrible at all, though. That was a really solid corner through turn 1. Jimmy's really put together his best laps of the race here, these last couple of laps. Very solid, very consistent lap times. I mean, before the braking zone, he hit 189 miles an hour. before getting on the brakes into the bus stop chicane there. That is absolutely tremendous speed on this high speed road course, the highest speed road course of any of the 3 current road courses on this schedule. Matthew Chen, welcome to the stream. What wheel am I using? It's an RWA. It's a Racing Wheel Apex, if I'm not mistaken. Strictly for the PS4. With the paddle shifters, as you guys could probably hear constantly throughout the course of this one, but showing the work I have to do, making sure I upshift, downshift at the right moments. I'm not gonna lie, slowly starting to work up a sweat already. We're just over a quarter of the way through this thing. I guess it's not very good to have that happen at the start of the race. Not at the start of the race, but again, about a quarter of the way through. A little past that point. Still no pit stops outside of Denny Hamlin. So a very interesting strategy game, and why not? I mean, Hamlin was in third. It's the only thing you could maybe kind of consider. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles, though, for the first time in this race today. Show you guys what the real elevation changes look like here on this road course. Maybe not as drastic as, say, Sonoma, but I haven't been to Sonoma in person to completely verify that, but very, very uphill here through this Estes section of the racetrack. Probably the biggest elevation change on the entire track itself. Oops, I was already in 4th gear there. I don't know why I accidentally shifted. There will be a 5th gear in the next gen cars, though, when the time comes. 2022. Of course, they had to push that back a year because of COVID. It was originally supposed to be set for next season, but now, as of right now, it'll be the season after. It really shows you how violent the curbs are also around this racetrack. Great corner through turn 1. Really hugged the curbing, never got loose, nothing. That left front tire is getting really close to 30% tire wear, though, on the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson. And once it does, this car is going to get very, very hard to handle. Only 25 laps into the race. Fuel entire run, but again, Denny Hamlin losing the track position now, but he can gain it here by quite a bit with the strategy he is running. If he can still make it on gas the rest of the way, you never know. That could be the race-winning strategy. Hamlin basically had the race won if he could have made it on fuel at Michigan at the end of the race. And then the caution came out. Then we had a restart. He lost a lot of spots on pit road, but he still ended up getting the win. A last lap pass for the win in that race yesterday afternoon. A 3 wide pass nonetheless on the final lap. Denny Hamlin took it 3 wide through 3 and 4 after a late race green white checker 2 lap to go restart. On Ryan Newman, and then Kyle Busch, who tried to thread the needle up the middle. Both Newman and Busch were looking for their first wins of the year. Both drivers are locked into the playoffs on points, but a win definitely would have been nice. Logano within a second of the lead. He has slowly closed in on Johnson here these last couple laps. Wasn't the best entrance there either to that bus stop chicane this lap for Jimmy Johnson. A little wide through turn 5. Actually hammered down to the gas pretty nicely, though. Getting a good exit to the corner by running that wider line, but lap traffic coming up here very shortly. for the race leader, Jimmy Johnson. And green flag pit stop should be coming up shortly, at least for the 48 of Johnson. Again, we're likely going to short pit with the 48 team in today's race. Down to 28%. I can really feel the tires sliding now. We are less than 10 laps away to having to pit on fuel anyway, but that left front tire is definitely giving Jimmy a really tough handling, barely keeping it off the wall, but not lifting at all yet. Trying to drive as hard as he can, but now he's got some lap traffic in the way. Again, the lead is only about 2 seconds. Joey Gase driving it in deep now. Jimmy probably should have kept it their third gear through the bus stop chicane like he usually does throughout the course of this race. And Kenseth in danger of going 2 laps down here. If he goes 2 laps down, that's going to be almost impossible to come back from again. He was on the bubble coming into this race. He was actually below the cut line as it was, so not a good run for Kenseth. He's not looking like he's going to get a lot of points at all here. Jimmy Johnson staying out of the pits at least one more lap. Oh, gonna run a little wide through turn number 1. Not too bad. Still pushing the car pretty hard though. Get around here at Jones easily before the braking zone in the bus stop. Kind of feel the rear tires really sliding off the curbs a little bit more, as well as into the hard braking zones. We've had one caution in the race so far today, but nothing that we have physically seen. Johnson going to stay out of the pits another lap. A 4.5 second lead. Johnson really sends it into turn 1. Just barely clearing his teammate William Byron. Boy, did he drive it in there hard to do it. It's going to be a very tight window on very worn out tires. Johnson very loose. Uphill through the S's. Barely, and I mean barely keeping it off the wall. Had to get on the brakes for a quick second. Again, this race car really sliding out from under Jimmy. He's got to be very careful. Another high braking zone here. Can't quite send it through that bus stop as much as what he would probably want to. Not bad through turn 5 though. It's actually pretty decent that time. Johnson has led every lap so far today. He's really backing up the corners quite well, though, these last couple of turns at least. And he's going to stay out again. So Johnson staying out at least one more lap. Wonder how far he's going to push it. I'd like to take it as far as I can on fuel. I just don't know what the car is going to actually allow me to do. Wow. Oh my goodness. Great car control nonetheless though by Johnson. He is definitely fighting the wheel. About a 3.5 second lead. Logano's caught up about a second in the last not half lap, but a lap and a half. Jimmy definitely got to get very easy back on the gas. Can't quite punch back through it like he was able to do on fresher tires almost 30 laps ago. But no major mistakes so far, at least for the 48 of Johnson. Still about a 2.5 second lead. 60 to go, 30 laps complete. Oh, man. He still went hard into the braking zone, but a lot of right to left movement there with the steering wheel, that is for sure. And Logano was closing in on the 48 of Johnson. Just about 1 second off the lead with heavy lap traffic in the near future for the 48 of Johnson. Oh, man. Johnson pointed, and there goes Logano. Johnson slides up the racetrack once more, and Joey Logano to the lead. For the moment, Johnson trying to beat him back to the gas off of turn 5. Again, lap traffic in the near vicinity. Ross Chastain right in front of the race leader. Joey Logano. Logano will lead his first lap of the race this time by at the start-finish line. And Logano also going to get on by Ross Chastain. So Chase Elliott, how about that? He's up to 5th. Logano leads his first lap of the race, and that is the first lap Johnson has not led in the race so far today. And he locks the tires as he gets into the back of the 22 of Logano through turn 1. Just a slight bit of contact, nothing too major. Johnson really kind of sends it. Oh, and he almost got into Logano again. That would have been treacherous at that portion of the racetrack. Right on the exit of that Estes, we've seen him get it loose there a couple times. Johnson pulls it back in on Logano as Logano goes side by side now through the bus stop with Bobby Carter. Johnson able to get by Carter, slides up the track again, trying to beat Carter back to the gas off of turn 5, and he will. Logano now trying to get around Bubba Wallace. Johnson takes it to the bottom of Wallace, sends it pretty deep on Logano. He is so close to that back bumper. Johnson drives it wide now, trying to run down the 22. Locks the brakes up through turn 7. Who can win the race back to the gas? It's Logano off of turn 7. What a heck of a battle for the lead going on right now. Johnson to the inside into turn 1. Trying to clear Boyer, and Logano slides it into turn 1. Slides it on the exit. Johnson gets loose and still clears Joey Logano. What a move. Johnson was all over the place trying to stay in front of that 22 car, and he was just barely able to do it. What a pass by Jimmy Johnson through turn 1 to get right back to the lead, and now he's going to outbrake Clint Boyer into the bus stop chicane. Boyer not giving up, though. He's trying to stay in the lead lap. Wow. Oh, Johnson pointed towards the wall there for a second into turn 5, and again makes a great save. About to have another lead change, assuming Johnson can lead back to the start-finish line. He's just got 2 more corners to go. And again, trying to stay in the same pit strategy with Logano. That is why he is not pit yet. And Logano coming right back to the back bumper of Johnson, but Johnson leads the lap. So that is the 3rd lead change of the race. Johnson off the curbing, drives it pretty well off of turn 1. Able to hold on to the lead for now. Logano is coming. Oh, a little loose and into the wall. Johnson into the wall. Got to be careful not to beat the race car up too much. And here comes Almirola now for 2nd place. Almirola drives it in deep through the bus stop. Johnson trying to get the hammer back down. He is very loose. Johnson has already lost a lot of time to the leaders. He goes a little wide through turn 5 again. Kurt Busch gains a spot, and now slamming back into the side, I believe, of Ryan Newman. Johnson got loose. Newman made contact with the right side of Johnson's car. And Johnson's going to have to bring it down to pit road this time. He is falling back to 5th place all of a sudden on this lap alone. Off of turn 6. Jimmy Johnson will pit this time. 40 miles an hour is the pit road speed limit before he damages the car too much. 4 seconds of damage. He will repair that. Whew. That was a workout right there. I'll tell you guys that much. Oh man, Evan Board 23, welcome to the stream. Briar Davis, welcome. Joey Logano took the lead there, back and forth action for the lead between Logano and Johnson there for a little bit. A little bit of a slower stop there, buffing out the right side of the car after making contact with Ryan Newman on that last lap before Johnson brought it to pit road, but he will easily stay on the lead lap. A very long racetrack, takes well over a minute to get around. 2.45 mile road course. So 19.6 second stop that time for Johnson. Pretty good getting back up to speed. A little bit of open room to run with. He does have a decent amount of lap cars. Now he is going to short pit here with these 4 fresh tires. So Johnson short pitting slightly on the leaders ahead of him, at least by 1 lap. We'll see how much time he can make up because of it. It's about 53 seconds off the lead. But again, lap traffic to work with here. Johnson drives it in deep on LaJoy and Custer. Wow, what a move. What a move by Johnson. Just able to get around Custer. Johnson having to fight for this race a little bit more than what he had to in the last race. The green flag laps. Logano already leading green flag laps even before Johnson had to hit pit road for the first time today. But Johnson did make it pretty much to the end of the run. He pitted just 1 lap sooner, but he waited up until he absolutely had to pit as far as losing too much track time. 55 to go now. And not all the leaders pit that time either. He only gained a couple spots. Chase Elliott actually not far behind Jimmy Johnson coming out of the pits there. So Elliott trying to gain some time. Again, on the bubble as far as the playoff cut line is concerned. And Almirola actually comes out about 3 seconds ahead of where Johnson's at. So, but Almirola's actually tucked in behind Ty Dillon. He's won 2 races this season. Be a fellow playoff driver here starting tomorrow. Do they have a clutch? They do have a clutch, but they don't have to use it the way the stock cars are designed. Oh boy, here we go. Johnson shoots the gap 3 wide, using Ty Dillon as a pick to try and get around Almirola. Almirola fights back with a crossover. Dillon was trying to get to pit road, and he couldn't with the 2 cars to the inside. Johnson beats Almirola back to the gas and through the shifts. Now has to outbrake him into turn 1. Johnson will gain the spot on Eric. He took the opportunity at hand to get around in 4th position. That was for 5th. Hamlin, remember, is already pit under the caution. That came out on lap 14, so Hamlin could actually go about 14 laps longer than the rest of the field here. And Logano about 9 seconds ahead of Johnson, but again, he hasn't gotten through the lap traffic that well today. Johnson did on the first run, not so much on the second run. Johnson's still having to somewhat deal with Almirola too. Tries to drive away from him. We'll see over time if Jimmy can run down the 22 car once again. Ethan Gaming, welcome to the stream. Johnson up to 3rd. So he's basically cycled in 2nd. So he did gain a couple spots there on pit road and obviously passed Almirola on the track. Chase Elliott is in 5th still. But Elliott, of course, with Hamlin having to pit 14 laps if we stay green long enough. Elliott would have gained 1 spot there on Ryan Newman, I believe. Newman probably had a little damage to repair on top of Johnson's. Of course, Newman was the driver that got into the right side of Johnson through turn 5. So they gave each other that damage. Johnson's so good at shooting the gap to outbreak these lap cars specifically. And boy, Logano's lead has really been trimmed down. He has struggled around these lap cars that we're currently getting around fairly easily. Logano still got about another lap car right in front of him here. A 2-second difference between the 22 and the 48. Johnson shoots the gap on the 51 and the 8. Clears them both into turn 1. Pretty easily. Gase trying to get back alongside the 48, but he just doesn't have the horsepower Johnson does in the Hendrick Chevrolet. And look at this teammate of Joey Logano. Brad Keselowski having a rough go at it today at Watkins Glen, trying not to go a lap down. And even though they're teammates, again, trying to stand the lead lap, that is big for Keselowski as far as the race is concerned. And here comes Johnson. Drives it in deep now through the bus stop, trying to catch the 22 of Logano. Looking to the outside through turn 5. Logano trying to beat him back to the gas here. And 3 wide for a quick moment. Johnson able to clear Logano before they get into turn 6. Logano clears Keselowski also, but he can't quite get to the back bumper of Johnson. A little wide through turn 7. Logano coming right back at it. Johnson down low to try and break the draft. Near that inside wall. These two are about 7 seconds off the lead, but again, Hamlin on about 20 to 25 lap older tires. Probably closer to 20 lap older tires. You can tell because both Johnson and Logano have definitely been closing the gap on him. But again, if it stays green to the very end of the race, and if Hamlin doesn't have to pit that extra time, again, that could be the bold strategy to win this thing. Down low, breaking any sort of draft Logano might have had on Johnson that time once again. And Johnson really caught DiBenedetto in a terrible spot into turn 1. Logano gains a little bit of time. Johnson still can't get around the 21 of DiBenedetto. He hasn't been close enough yet. Now through the carousel. Not a great passing zone. And Logano might be trying to fight right back at Johnson once more. Johnson quickly now to the inside of the 21. Finally going to get around him. And there's Christopher Bell in 24th. Christopher Bell, one of the playoff contenders. Elliott in 5th. Bell in 24th. Bell was 19 points ahead of where Elliott was. And currently they are tied on the playoff cut line where Elliott is running right now, and Hamlin is... Oh, Hamlin's off the track! Denny Hamlin up in smoke. The race leader is off the track. Johnson will be the new leader at the line. What a tough break for Denny Hamlin. That would give Elliott another point, but it might end up giving Bell another point also if Denny can't get back on the track. Denny will not go back-to-back likely here today with a win at Watkins Glen. Having the momentum, leading laps here in this race after winning at Michigan yesterday afternoon. And that will hand the lead over to Johnson, who was coming on the fresher tires, but maybe a blown tire for Hamlin. Running a very long time on those older tires. Might have came back to bite him. As he went wide in turn 6. Looked like he was off in the sand area, way off of the excess pavement. Boombox, welcome to the stream. Have to keep an eye on Denny to see if he's going to get back out on the racetrack or not, but we stay green. We're almost halfway done. Hamlin is still on pit road, so he will at least go one lap down no matter what. Kevin Harvick even not having a great day in 20th. He's second in the regular season championship point standings. And Harvick hasn't been himself these last couple of races between the Michigan race yesterday and this race here today. Harvick just not looking himself. At the end of the regular season, of course, once he lost the chance of trying to win the regular season championship a couple races ago to Johnson, that's when he has not been the same. A little contact between Custer and Johnson. Johnson is 3 wide now into turn 7, trying to outbrake both of the Stewart-Haas cars around him. Just barely able to do it. It's down to the inside after the block on Custer. My goodness. That was a tight angle to get around LaJoy. Stenhouse in 17th. Number 1 at Martinsville this year. We'll be meeting him in the postseason. Got a couple super speedways right up his wheelhouse. You never know if he can point his way through the round of 16. Look out for Stenhouse. Threat to perhaps make the championship. Logan Miller, welcome to the stream. Oh man, Johnson a little wide in turn 6. Trying to get the hammer back down once again. Game of cat and mouse between Logano and Johnson. Johnson has slowly been pulling away here during the course of this second run. Since the green flag pit stops about 10 to 15 laps ago. Johnson a little wide out there turn 1 trying to get around these lap cars. Not wasting much time to get around Justin Haley. Ty Dillon, last driver on the lead lap currently, but he's stuck behind Timmy Hill now in the 66. Even the lap cars are hard to pass on a road course here. Now Timmy Hill going to get in the way of where Johnson's at, and there's just nowhere for Jimmy to go. Playing it smart now, in line behind both the 66 and the 13. And that costed Johnson a ton of time because now Logano's only 2.5 seconds back. Kenson, Dillon. Right in front of Johnson. Johnson tries to outbrake him into turn 7. Great job. 15 cars now on the lead lap here today. Crossed flags in the air this time by. We're halfway home at Watkins Glen. Johnson has led the most laps, but Logano has been a contender. So was Denny Hamlin, who had an issue in turn 6. Oh, man, Johnson really missed turn 1 there. About ended up in the wall. Kept the hammer down. Was able to get the car to rotate. Triple Boy, welcome to the stream. Rough riding it there off of the curving for Jimmy. Chase Elliott up to P3. He is up to 3rd place now. And if Christopher Bell is 23rd, like I assume he is, that would put Chase Elliott 1 point to the good on Chris. Elliott needed a strong performance, might have needed a little bit of help if he couldn't find victory lane. And it seems to be the way things are going, at least so far. And a lot of things can change going forward in this one. Likely only a 1 pit stop race the rest of the way. For all you Chase Elliott fans out there, Elliott, after a very, very tough first half of the regular season, has picked it up in the second half by quite a bit and has been running pretty consistent for the most part, outside of a few races here and there. But if he could just get into the playoffs, you never know, he could have a shot. We've seen him make deep runs in the past. Why did I pass Timmy? Because I had to. Logano was coming. Man, look at how much we've gapped Joey Logano. He has really struggled in the lap traffic. It was a 2.5 second lead about 3 laps ago. Now it's 11.5 seconds. Johnson has really pulled out, and he's got a lot of clean air to work with ahead of him. Chase Elliott right now, currently, and Johnson again wide off at turn 1. But Jimmy Johnson currently with that lead. You look back to Elliott, he's now only about 4 seconds behind Logano, so he's even closing in on second. And you also got to wonder where Alex Bowman is at, because Bowman came in 3 points behind Christopher Bell in the points. Bowman is still on the lead lap that we know of, so he's in the top 15, where Bell's like outside of the top 20. So Bell is right there also, single digits currently as we run, separating the 90, 88, and the 95 for that last playoff spot. The last 2 playoff spots, I should say. 2 of those drivers will get in, 1 will not in this race here today. LC Brawls, welcome to the stream. Matthew Beam, welcome to the stream. Longest green flag run of the race so far. First caution came out back on lap 14. We haven't had one since. We only had 3 cautions in the Michigan race yesterday afternoon. But the last one came with just 6 laps to go. Forced the green-white checker 2-lap finish to that race. Where again, that's where we saw Denny Hamlin get that last lap pass for the win on Johnson. And Johnson fell back to 8th on the last lap, but here we go. Johnson right underneath Bobby Carter, trying to gas it up. Ooh, a little contact. He didn't fully clear Carter, and there is a caution. And that is interesting because that is just outside the pit window to the end of this race. And I mean barely outside the pit window. We're going to have, well, first of all, a caution came out with 42 to go. When we go green, we're going to have 38 laps left, so we're going to be about 4 laps short. So Johnson will stay out to keep the track position. Looks like Ryan Newman will pit. Varying strategy. Ty Dillon will get the free pass in 16th. So as we run, Chase Elliott is actually 2 points to the good on Christopher Bell. So Elliott 2 points to the good as we run. Alex Bowman is currently 7 points to the good. Yeah, no problem there, Matthew.
All right, man. You're coming to the green. Ready? Green flag, green flag. Right side. All right, here we go.
Green flag back in the air. And you never know, you wonder if Elliott... Oh, man, Johnson has really been running wide off of turn 1. Trying to beat these guys back to the gas, especially on this restart. It didn't cost him any time. We've seen Logano keep up with Johnson on the restarts. He just hasn't been able to really get around him until the tires really wear off of the 48 car. Johnson probably going to stay out as long as he can until he loses the lead again, just like the last run before he hits pit road, unless a caution decides whether or not everybody will come or not. But everybody, I should say the only driver that did pit under the caution again was Ryan Newman. He is likely 4 laps short on fuel to the end of the race. But everybody else, for sure, has to pit one more time. If Newman gets a caution, he could save enough and get to the end. Johnson wasn't perfect at all there through turn 7. Logano gains a couple tenths there in that corner alone. Johnson a little early, trying not to overrun turn 1, but he still overruns the corner. And here comes Logano. He is roll over the back of that 48 car of Johnson. Johnson accelerates from 3rd to 4th through the S's. And Elliott just a 1.5 seconds off the lead. Alvarola at 4th. He's looked strong at times today. He's about 2 seconds off the lead as well. So the top 4 Looking like the strongest for Kyle Busch now, up to 5th. Please don't pass Timmy this time. Logano's really keeping up with Johnson. Jimmy's having to run perfect. This is the pressure we were talking about most of the race today that Johnson has not had. At times he has, but just not consistently. But with 36 laps to go, as we get later and later into the race, Logano's getting slightly faster and faster as he really ran well through turn number 1. Again, closes the gap on Johnson. Johnson runs a little wider. He beats Logano back to the gas, but Johnson gives up a little time definitely on corner entry. It's a sacrifice he's been willing to make. But if Logano could just get alongside that right rear corner panel one of these times in turn 1, that could be enough to side draft or maybe even move Johnson out of the way. Elliott not quite within striking distance yet, but if these two out in front, the 22 and the 48, get side by side, you never know. At the start-finish line this time, we'll have 35 to go, and we will alternate through the different camera angles one final time in today's race. Johnson really hugged that line through turn 6. Dropped it down to second gear. It's something a little different. Maybe trying to do some new things here late in the race. Not sure if that's necessarily the wisest thing to do, but it worked out for him that lap. One of his faster laps of the race, nevertheless. A little bit of a wheel hop from 3rd to 2nd on the downshift. Logano again trying to close the gap on the 48 of Johnson. Oh, Johnson a little tight on the exit. Uphill through the S's, and here comes Joey Logano within a couple tenths once again. Best part of the track, though, for Johnson. Logano will likely back up the bus stop as well as turn 5. But Johnson, well, he entered in the corner a little deep, and he actually got it to stick a little better than what I thought he was going to. But Jimmy slightly pulls Logano there, but again, the best 3 corners for Joey versus Johnson. Turns 6, 7, and 1. Next 3 corners. Logano rolls it in deep in 6, gains a little bit of ground. Now through 7. Trying to do the same thing. Johnson down low now to break the draft on Joey Logano. Into turn 1. Logano drives it in deep. He's there. He's there. Big wheel hop by Johnson. Joey Logano to the lead off of turn 1. Johnson trying to get him back. Look at how deep he drove it in through the carousel. He's all over the back of the 22. Battle for the lead is on. Johnson trying to get back alongside of Joey. Big side draft there. Who will outbreak each other into the bus stop? It's Johnson. Back to the lead, but he almost missed it. He almost missed the bus stop. Logano's back again. A little more contact. And as they battle for the lead very harshly with one another, where is Chase Elliott in all this? Oh, man. Nobody giving an inch. Great corner through 6 by Johnson. That's about the best he's gotten through there today. A little wide through 7. Here comes Logano again, and again Johnson tries to break the draft. What a battle for the lead here at Watkins Glen. So we're about 2/3 of the way home. Johnson wide through turn 1 again, but he's going to stay in front of Logano. So Logano never officially led a lap during the mix of all that. Johnson was able to get back to the lead by the end of the lap anyway. He actually kind of pulled Joey through turn 1. A lot more competitive than what the first Watkins Glen race was, that is for sure. Man, this 48 car just feels really tight. But the tires are wearing out too, and that doesn't help Johnson at all. To get to 30% Oh, on the tires. Johnson goes wide in 6. Here comes Logano. He looks to the outside, and he couldn't do it. Faked high, went low, and it didn't work. Johnson barely able to fend him off. Great corner through turn 1 that time for the 48. How about Chase Elliott? He's within a second of the lead now. Shot for the playoffs on the line for Elliott. We're not even into the playoffs yet, but we're having some playoff drama here tonight, that is for sure. Johnson didn't really run the bus stop as hard as what he usually would. Trying to beat Logano now through 5. Man, this 48 car is a little tight. Usually see it get looser as the tires wear out, but it's actually really tight. Doesn't matter whether it's a left-handed corner or the right-handed corner. Tires starting to slowly fall off the 48 car. Actually really good through 6 and 7 that time for Johnson. Oh, he checked up just a hair. I wanted to stay in the gas, but I was scared it was going to bounce off the wall. We didn't need that in this close of a race. Logano gains a little bit in turn 1 once again. Not a whole lot, but he does gain a little bit. Jacob Westbrook, welcome to the stream. Johnny Rooks, welcome to the stream also. Oh boy. Remember Johnson back in qualifying after he had already clinched the pole. Seemingly at the time we didn't know it, but he did clinch the pole at the time. Kind of damaged the right front of the car by not shortcutting the bus stop chicane, but just diving into the corner too early, and he about did it there again. That was really the only time we about made that mistake. Johnson's ran near perfect laps almost this entire race. Yeah, he goes a little wide from time to time, but for the most part, Johnson's kept it on the racetrack all day long. But as the tires have worn out this late in the run, 30 laps to go, just one pit stop remains. Jimmy trying to hold on to the lead. Logano is charging. Johnson goes a little wide in 1. Oh, man! He might have skimmed the wall there. I think I saw sparks. He's still barely able to hold on in front of the 22 of Logano. It is a 3 to 4 horse race. Don't count Almirola out of it either. Hasn't won a race this year, but he is locked in on points. Logano and Johnson have at least one win. Elliott looking for his first, and it would clinch a playoff spot for Elliott again. As we run, he is likely 1 or 2 points ahead of Bell on points. Ghost Destroyer, welcome to the stream also. Anybody else that I might have missed throughout the course of this, I'm sorry. I'm trying to look at the chat as much as possible. This is an intense battle for the lead. We're using the steering wheel on a road course. There's a lot of things going on at once here. But Johnson able to hold on for now. Lap by lap is what we're looking at here. Is really trying not to overrun the corners and wheel hop off the curbing. Heavy braking zones, downshifting, all of that. Knowing that the tires have fallen off of this race car. Johnson kind of pulls away, though, through the S's that time on Logano, creating a little bit of a gap. You can see the lap traffic off in the distance right now, and that's what Johnson is trying to catch here as the tires wear out. If he can get to the lap traffic, that might ease the pain just a little bit, knowing that the rest of the field has struggled in lap traffic most of the day. Johnson has only struggled on older tires as he has right now, so that will definitely be another factor here in the next couple laps. Again, anybody new watching this one, we got realistic broadcast for NASCAR Heat 5 on the daily. On this chase for 8, trying to get Jimmy Johnson his 8th title. Down low, maybe trying to break whatever draft there is on Logano. 28 to go. Pretty solid through turn 1 there. A little wide, but he does beat Joey back to the gas slightly. Logano definitely drove it in deep, hooked the bottom lane. Another set of great corners through the S's once again. Johnson runs it hard into the bus stop chicane, trying to get to the lap traffic as soon as he can. Again, just 2 cautions so far in the race today. Logano slightly gains a little bit there into turn 5. Joey Logano in that 22 car is coming on the 48 of Johnson. Gonna get around Joey Gase, shoots the gap now on Chad Fincham into turn 6. Barely cleared Fincham. Johnson holds everybody off another lap. And how about Joey Logano? He has lost second place. Chase Elliott is now up to second. It's another point. Oh, Johnson! A little bit of a wheel hop there through turn 1. Power slides it and actually kept it on the actual racing grid. Never even used the access road. Didn't need it. And Byron's back to 39th. He just keeps falling back further and further every time we see him. Johnson gonna get around him. Jimmy stuck now behind Justin Haley, Matt Kenseth. Johnson gonna get around the outside of both of them there. The access road there on the exit of turn 5 easily clears them. Great corner through turn 6. Johnson still a little loose. Still roughly about a 2-second lead. 26 to go. Oh man, another massive wheel hop for the 48 of Johnson. He's still slightly pulling ahead from Elliott. Lap traffic definitely playing dividends. Johnson trying to meanwhile get around Timmy Hill. Does it cleanly on the exit of the carousel, slash axis, whatever you want to call it. I guess we didn't really get to the bottom of what to exactly call that set of corners. Johnson kind of riding the brakes through the bus stop that time, and that seemed to work out pretty well for him. Kept the car fairly steady, despite bouncing off the curbs. What's the button noise? That's the downshift slash upshift. It's the paddle shifters on the steering wheel. Clicking. Or me mashing the brakes or the gas with my feet. It could be any one of those things. 25 to go at Watkins Glen. Oh, Johnson slightly overcorrects it, and he almost goes around in turn 1. That's about as loose as he has gotten. Man, that cost him about 2 seconds through turn 1 alone. Johnson got completely sideways, and Elliott is coming. Johnson's got about 4 more laps, 3 to 4 more laps to get to the end of the fuel run. He still has the lead slightly. Woohoo! It's pretty fun, but I mean, it is very hectic. These drivers are racing hard. Elliott has so much to race for right now on the cut line. You never know, if Bell gains a few more spots, Elliott needs to win. Chase has put himself in prime position in second place. And Johnson's actually maintaining the gap despite how old the tires are. A little wider through turn 1 once again. Actually got back to the gas though at a decent point. Two more lap cars in the near future here. Looks like Michael McDowell and Eric Jones. Lead is just under a second and a half now into the bus stop chicane. Johnson drove it in pretty deep, got it to stick. He's got Michael McDowell right around him. Johnson going to get to the outside of him. Oh, Johnson about goes a little wide, and he got loose on the exit of turn 5. And here comes Chase Elliott. Elliott to the inside / outside coming into turn 6. And we're side by side for the lead. Elliott cannot clear the 48 of Johnson. Johnson drives it in deep, and he barely holds on to it. Elliott now drives it to the outside through turn 7. Johnson able to hold on. Power slide, able to just stay ahead of the 9 of Elliott. Battle for the lead continues here. What a race. And Almirola's now within a second. Logano's actually back to 4th. They got to go 9 seconds back to Kyle Busch. Johnson really desperately wants to get around McDowell. He can't do it, though. Now looks to the inside of McDowell. And he's going to clear him before we get into the bus stop. Big move that time by Johnson. Trying not to lock the brakes up too much. Very loose. Keeps it going. Now Johnson trying to get around Eric Jones. Oh man, he about ran into the back of him. He had to check up off of turn 5. In the draft real quick. To the inside into turn 6. Johnson going to clear him. Johnson trying not to go wide. He gets loose back across the track. He still can't clear the 20 of Jones. Now he does off of turn 7. Barely kept it off the wall and still holds clear of Jones. But Elliott going to get to his inside. 22 to go. Johnson. And he drove it in deep there. Still loose off the curbing. Elliott coming right back again. All over the back of the 48 of Johnson. Riding the brake again there through the bus stop chicane. A little loose into turn 5. Up the hill goes Johnson. Chase Elliott trying to beat the 48 back to the gas. They're pretty even. Off of turn 5, side by side again. Johnson barely holds clear. Into turn 6. He's holding on for now. A little wide. Now into 7. Look at this. Top 4 all within about a second of the lead. Johnson will pit this time by. Trying to get to the outside of Bubba Wallace into turn 1. A little wide off the excess road. And here comes Elliott Johnson. Barely holds on to the lead again. What a race. And here comes Elliott. All over the left side of Johnson. Jimmy holds clear. Almirola going for second on Elliott behind. Johnson trying to get on the brakes in time. He almost missed the chicane. Big wheel hop. Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace gets into the side of Jimmy Johnson. Trying to not go multiple laps down. I don't know what that was all about. Wallace about hooked Johnson on the exit of the bus stop chicane. Finally, Johnson clears him. And Johnson, meanwhile, still able to hold on to the lead as he clears Bobby Carter into turn 6. Oh, Johnson into the back of Chastain. Carter's there. Johnson's trying to get to pit road. He doesn't speed. That is heavy damage to the 48. But only 5 seconds. And that is just enough damage that Johnson can repair. It is not over 5 seconds of damage. It was very close, though. Very close.
20 laps to go.
Joshua Pittman, welcome to the stream also. My gosh. Called 88, welcome to the stream. Johnson looks like he's gonna choke. Not quite. Yeah, it was a little damage. I think it was Bobby Carter who checked up. That was a lap down right in front of the leaders. They were side by side. Lap cars were Johnson just able to repair the damage, though. It was under a 5-second damage clock policy, so luckily Jimmy was able to repair that. Otherwise, he was likely going to be down on horsepower the rest of the race. But we're getting to the very end. Johnson should have good enough tires to go to the end and race as hard as possible. He had the lead barely coming onto pit road. But now can he cycle ahead of the leaders? He pitted one lap before him. So Johnson running extremely hard. And remember, Ryan Newman had pitted under that last caution. So remember, Newman could go to about 4 laps to go on fuel. If we get a caution, he might be able to save enough, and Newman could be the guy to beat at the very end of this race. Amazing how much more grip the race car's got now for the 48 of Johnson as he runs off at turn 7, just 19 laps to go. This is the third and final pit stop of the race. He's going to cycle ahead of Logano barely. Logano just came out of the pits. But where is Chase Elliott in all of this? He is the driver right on the bubble and was battling for the lead with Johnson before the green flag pit stops during the course of this run. Even after the stops, Logano's within about a second of the lead. He actually outran Johnson that time. 1 lap fresher tire is not going to do much, by the way, for Logano. That is pretty much a non-factor here. Maybe for the first lap, but that's about it. Boy, this first lap, though, Logano's giving Johnson a run. Johnson didn't get through turn 5 very well. He probably could have pushed it a little harder. And Logano's all over the back of the 48. Stenhouse is coming to pit road, and that messes Johnson's cornering up in turn 7. Johnson loses what is the eventual lead to Joey Logano. Lap car Stenhouse was trying to get to pit road. Johnson went high all of a sudden and couldn't get to the brakes in time. Now he overruns turn 1. But Logano's caught behind a lap car, I believe Corey LaJoy, and he's trying to pass him in a dangerous part of the track, right in the carousel, but boy did he get around him quickly. And Chase Elliott is behind Johnson Logano. Logano would be the eventual leader. Very blistering fast stop for Logano. Remember, he was in 4th place. Johnson through the bus stop, runs it in deep to get around LaJoy, and he does. Chase Elliott about 5 seconds back at Johnson. Eventually, he would be in about 3rd, well, 4th really, because again, Newman will be the leader. Up until about 3 or 4 to go, he'll have to pit. And probably 3 to 5 laps if I had to like really broaden it out. Johnson is overrunning these corners tremendously, trying to catch Joey. He can burn the tires up as much as he wants now, though. The tire wear shouldn't get as bad as what we saw at the end of those 2 tire runs the rest of the race. Logano's got 2 more lap cars right in front of him. Kevin Harvick and I believe John Hunter Nemechek. For the next 2 drivers, Logano trying to get around Nemechek into the carousel. He couldn't do it. Now he's got to wait until they get off the exit of it. And Johnson, in about a half a lap, has gained a 2nd. Johnson is coming up quick. Logano side by side. Actually, that looks like it's Cole Custer. It's Cole Custer in the 41. And they're side by side through the chicane. Logano finally able to get around Custer. Now Custer cuts down in front of Johnson. Martin Truex Jr. 10 seconds ahead. I'm very surprised he isn't pit yet. I really don't know how much longer he can go. Pretty sure Newman was the only driver to stay out, or sorry, to pit under that 2nd and last caution that we had back with 42 to go. Southern Rebel, welcome to the stream. Pretty good corner through turn 1 there. Johnson gains a little bit of ground on Joey Logano. Logano now caught. He's got 3 lap cars right in front of him. He just runs into the side of Harvick. He's desperately trying to get around him. And now here comes Johnson using Timmy Hill's a pick. Johnson in the lead off the exit of the carousel. Logano got in the side of Harvick and it costed him so much time. Johnson going to outrun a couple more lap cars now into the bus stop chicane. Johnson is up to second. Newman 10.5 seconds ahead. Is the leader, and if he gets a caution, he might be able to make it on fuel. So Newman trying to play the track position game. If Newman lucks out with a caution, he could be the eventual leader on another restart. So Johnson has to run him down. And it sounds like he's actually pitting this time by. I don't think that's Newman, though. No, it's not. It's one of the lap cars. It's William Byron. I was going to say, Newman can run it to about, again, if I had to guesstimate a more broader range, it'd be 3 to 5 laps to go for Newman to come down to pit road, but I don't think he can make it to the end. But again, if he gets that caution, that's all he needs. And that obviously brings more drivers back into it. Chase Elliott currently in 4th. And if Bell is 22nd, 23rd, Elliott has to finish 3rd or better to get in. So if it stays green to the end, that might be what Elliott needs. Stay green to the end, finish 3rd, get the tiebreaker on Christopher Bell. Newman's got very heavy lap traffic right in front of him. I would expect Newman to hit pit road as soon as he loses the lead, by the way, too. Or he's just going to lose way too much track position because he is a top 10 competitive car. I believe he was in 5th, actually, at the timing of the last caution. Another lap car out of his way, though. Eric Jones comes to pit road. 14 to go. Handful of different leaders throughout the course of the race today. Johnson, though, has led the most. Looked like the most dominant car, but boy, the second half of this race is really throwing a curveball as far as who looks like the better driver. Logano, Elliott at times have seemed like the best, but Johnson consistently over the course of the day would probably be number 1. Johnson's got Justin Haley right around him now. Yeah, so the mount is literally, by the way, I saw the question on what the mount is like. So it's literally a this RWA steering wheel. It's mounted to a TV dinner tray. It's like a little heavier one, though. Obviously, it's not like a little like lighter rinky-dink one, but that's literally my setup. And then I got the foot pedals underneath. But they don't slide because they have carpet, so. There's Bell in 23rd. So Bell in 23rd, Elliott in 4th. They are tied on the playoff cut line currently as we run. So if Bell gains a spot, he's in. If Elliott gains a spot, he is in. They are tied, but I believe Elliott has the tiebreaker over Bell. How about that? Tied on the playoff cut line. Final race of the regular season. And we have just 12 laps to go this time by. And DiBenedetto, 4th position, is right in front of Bell. So is Austin Dillon. Elliott's got a little work to do to catch Joey Logano. It's going to be interesting. Now remember, Denny Hamlin tried the same strategy Newman was on, and Denny had an issue. It looked like he might have blown a tire. Could have been an engine, because I don't think Hamlin actually has come back into the race since. I think he's been out of the race since that issue in turn 6. Yes, he is, so he's still on pit road. So yeah, Hamlin was the first driver to exit the race today. So you wonder if that same thing could happen to Newman. Now, a caution didn't come out for Hamlin when it happened. Again, I don't know what the 2 cautions are on exactly. But we have had 2 cautions so far today. Newman side by side with another lap car ahead. Don't forget about Alex Bowman being on the playoff cut line as well, but I think he's a little more comfortable spot than Elliott and Bell. As long as he's still in the race, obviously, but I believe he is. I know he was on the lead lap at the last caution, so I believe he was 12th at the time. He was roughly 7 points to the good, and he can't drop outside of the top 16 as long as he doesn't have an issue, so that alone should lock him in. Unless he does fall a lap down and then we get a late race restart. But, well, contact, by the way, there. The carousel between Johnson and Nemechek, and Newman's getting back away again. Johnson trying to outrun Nemechek and Kenton. Oh, Johnson might miss the chicane, and he probably should have gotten penalized there, but he didn't. Would have been about a 5-second penalty. Ryan Newman all over the back of Timmy Hill. Hill is costing Newman a ton of time, and here comes Johnson for the lead. Big run by Johnson into turn 6. Newman goes to the outside of Timmy Hill. Johnson runs it wide off of 6. He's trying to use all the racetrack he can. He's going to drive it in deep. 3 wide for the lead through turn 7. Drag race now between Newman and Johnson. Newman on older tires. Johnson to the lead off of turn 7. And he got it. 10 laps to go. Johnson to the lead, looking for career win number 100. And he runs wide in turn 1, and here comes Newman right back again. On older tires, don't count Newman out. Oh, very treacherous to go side by side through the carousel like these two drivers are. Nobody is giving any room. Newman slipping away. Or I should say slipping behind Johnson, because Jimmy has just overtaken him again. And out breaking him through the bus stop chicane, pulling away. But Newman put up a fight there for about a half a lap. Wider corner entry, worked with the corner exit speed that time for Johnson through turn 5. But will we stay green to the finish of the race? Remember, we had a caution again with 6 to go in that race last night at Michigan. Forced a late race restart. Denny Hamlin got the win. He was also leading at the time of the caution, but still. You never know what could happen. The tire's pretty equal over the course of the run until they get very worn out on Johnson's car. I believe he's all right for now. And Newman has not pitted, and I guess it's all right for him to stay with that strategy. Again, he can possibly make it on fuel if we get a caution. Everybody else good on fuel and tires to the end of the race. Eight to go. Johnson gonna outbrake and outrun. Oh, what has happened to Chase Elliott? Elliott is falling outside of the top 5. But he was in 4th place behind Logano. Almirola and Busch have passed him. What has happened to Chase Elliott? I didn't even notice that till just now. I don't know if that might have happened when Newman and Johnson were battling for the lead, but we stay green if he does have an issue. And what a heartbreaker for Elliott. Running in position to have the tiebreaker on Christopher Bell on points at the time of him running in 4th, and Elliott is no longer in the top 5. Unbelievable. So we're going to take a look down pit road here as Johnson passes the cross finish or start finish line once again. See if Elliott might be on pit road. No, I don't see him at all. So Elliott is not on pit road. He could very well be on the track still. But he is not the top 5, and that is putting him in a danger zone. He's likely below the cut line, depending on where Christopher Bell obviously is at. But, I mean, the 24th place car wasn't really around Bell, so if anything, Bell could have gained spots rather than lost some. And that's going to put him in a very tough decision. Bowman's in good position to make it on points, and what a shocker that would be if Chase Elliott does not make the playoffs. We've been talking over the last week or so as we have boiled closer and closer to the regular season, but it is becoming more of a reality the closer we get to the end of the race. Newman's going to have to pit here in a couple laps. But he is staying out in case we get the caution. Just 6 to go. He can probably run anywhere between 1 to 3 more laps before he'll have to pit. And that could be another spot for Chase Elliott if he is, say, running in 6th. So don't forget about that. And Newman will not have a slow enough stop for Christopher Bell to catch him. Johnson actually dealing with quite a bit of lap traffic over the last couple laps also, but Jimmy's just trying to get to the white flag at this point to get career win number 100. Side by side right in front of Johnson with the lap traffic. 9-second lead. 5 laps left for Johnson trying to outrun Boyer into turn 1. A little tight, barely able to clear him though. Newman is on pit road. Figured he was going to have to pit 1 to 3 laps, and that is the case. He is pitting now. Ryan Newman on pit road. Guessing only maybe 2 tire stop. We'll have to wait and see, but whatever the case is, Ryan Newman is in the pits. Ryan Preece is actually up to 5th. Wow, what a run for Ryan Preece. Second-year driver for JTG Doherty Racing. So Chase Elliott's still not even in the top 5. We have not put him a lap down yet. Elliott likely going to need a caution before the end of this race if he's going to want to get into the postseason. Johnson kind of stuck behind Bubba Wallace. Chad Fincham right around him. 4 to go. Johnson trying to get the season sweep at Watkins Glen, as well as that 100th career win. But I think Jimmy knows that the 100th career win is probably a little better than a season sweep at Watkins Glen. Winning both races here on the season. Just an extra 5 playoff points before the start of the playoffs. Again, every little point matters. 2 DNFs in the first 2 races puts us in a hole. As Charlotte Roval, it's that simple. You never know. Meanwhile, 24-second lead. Johnson's really opened the gap up here in the lap traffic. Johnson trying to get to the white flag. He's a couple laps away from doing so. Just 3 laps to go. Just under 5 miles from the white flag. Still keeping an eye on the leaderboard just in case Elliott might pop in the top 5. Reason being, Kyle Busch Ryan Priest pretty close to one another. That could be 2 spots for Elliott if he is within range. And that would put him again in the tiebreaker if he can at least get to 4th, as long as Bell stayed in 23rd or worse. As far as the position he is currently running is considered. Logano has run a faster lap than Johnson the last 2 laps. It's only, again, going to matter if we get a caution too. 2 laps to go this time off of turn 7. A 7-turn road course. Again, Johnson trying to get there. Ran another 107 lap time. Elliott up to 5th. Chase Elliott not going down without a fight late. He is just about a second behind Kyle Busch for 4th. And if he finishes 4th, he needs Christopher Bell to finish 23rd or worse, which is where he was running in 23rd last we saw him about 5 to 10 laps ago. Elliott losing a little bit of ground. He's now 2 seconds behind Busch. Where they're running on the track, they got about a full 2 laps left. Two cautions in the race. Again, a tie for the least amount we have had this season, assuming we get to the checker flag here. Off of turn 7, white flag in the air, 1 lap to go for Jimmie Johnson. Career win number 100 will be coming up for Jimmie Johnson fans everywhere. As Chase Elliott tries to run down Kyle Busch for that one lone point he needs for a tiebreaker. Perhaps, obviously. Again, we don't know exactly where Bell's at, but Bell finishes 23rd or worst. And Elliott can catch Kyle Busch. There is a chance. Lap traffic could play a factor. Half a lap to go for Johnson. More like 3 corners now. Elliott within about a second of him again. He's going to need a little bit of help. They got about a full lap left, though. One more corner to go for the 48 of Johnson. He's going to win the regular season finale, but most importantly, career win number 100 for Jimmie Johnson, and it comes at Watkins Glen.
Way to go, driver. That's the win. Nice job.
A big day and a milestone victory in the career of Jimmie Johnson. Sweeping at Watkins Glen on the season. And he's about to burn the house down after career win number 100. Might want to straighten that out. Far, but there we go. Waited all season to say that. What do you need to mount your foot pedals? All you need is just to keep them from moving in place. So I know I used to work at Lowe's, and they had concrete, or not concrete, they had like carpet samples. I think you can honestly take some carpet samples and perhaps help it. If you're already on like carpet, maybe you can get like a thicker, piece, kind of like the, like the carpet that has like the, just a bigger thickness. I mean, if that doesn't work, you could just try duct taping it to the floor if you want that to be permanent. Obviously, if you don't want it, then yeah, don't. But I mean, yeah, mine don't slide around at all on the carpet I'm using. It's not really that thick, so I don't really have a problem with that. But that's kind of, oh, you're on hardwood, yeah, for sure, yeah. But well, see, See, if you get the carpet samples though too, you might even have to tape like the bottom of them just to... Because even still, like the bottom of the actual carpet itself still might slide with a sample because it's not very big. Yeah, I would probably try that for starters. So I think they're only 25 cents a piece. Probably get like 3 or 4 pieces, and that's plenty good for you. Oh wow, Blaney, Kurt Busch went for a spin. Yeah, so let's see. We'll take a run at the top 10 here, and then we'll look at the playoff cutoff line here. Jimmy Johnson with the win, of course. 101 minutes total time on this one here today. An hour and 41 minutes. Joey Logano second, Almirola third, Kyle Busch fourth, and Chase Elliott rounds out the top 5. Now, Elliott still could make it. That would just mean Christopher Bell has to finish 24th or worse for Elliott to get in. Ryan Preece 6th, great run there. Daniel Suarez, great run, 7th. Newman with a bold strategy, still finished 8th, so good run for him. Chris Buescher, great run for him. Another Roush Fenway driver in the top 10, finishing 9th, and Alex Bowman rounds out the top 10. Bowman will make the cutoff line because he's automatically ahead of Elliott. Again, it was 3 drivers fighting for 2 spots between Bowman, Elliott, and Bowman, Elliott, and Bell. So we're going to take a rundown here. 14 cars finished on the lead lap. Wow. Christopher Bell, 23rd, just enough to get the job done. So that should mean Christopher Bell by just 1 point. By 1 point, he is going to make the playoffs on Chase Elliott. 2 drivers DNF today, Kurt Busch and Denny Hamlin. We saw Hamlin's incident while he was leading. Unbelievable. There's Bowman. Yep, Bell. 1 point. Yep, I did my math correctly. That's awesome. I broadcasted it perfectly because I figured I was doing my math right throughout the race. It was a little difficult, but yep, by 1 point, Chase Elliott does not make the playoffs. Matt Kenseth came in with a shot too. He was only minus 15 coming into the day, but he finished 36 and was a non-factor all day long. But yeah, what a tough break for Chase Elliott. No playoff championship shot here for Chase Elliott. Unbelievable. But we do have a rookie, Christopher Bell, making it. And again, Jimmy Johnson, the regular season champ. We'll take a look at the seeding here real quick before we actually get into the race itself. Here's Jimmy Johnson in victory lane at Watkins Glen after career win number 100. .107.502 is his fastest lap. Led 71 of the 90 laps today. After starting on the pole, and Ty Dillon on the move. Started at the rear, got up to 15th. Good run for him. We'll see him in the playoffs. He had 2 wins this year. And Denny Hamlin with the tough break after winning at Michigan yesterday. Started 5th, but finished last today. DNF'd while leading this race in the first third of the event. So again, we'll take a look at the playoff seedings here before we close the stream out here in a couple minutes. Next full race live stream is at noon Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Richmond Cup Series, first race of the playoffs, a 400 lapper there. It should be a lot of fun. Kind of our pre-race edition for the Cup race tomorrow. Logan Miller, thanks, man. So let's take a look. Oh no, it didn't give us playoff points. Did the wins count? Oh, the wins don't, what? What? Well, there's another error with NASCAR Heat 5 that we're just finding out for the first time here tonight. Somebody mentioned that at the very beginning of the season, and I was like, well, we'll see, we'll add up all the wins. So the playoff points do not, wait, what? Wait. I'm confused here. Round of 16. I am so confused at what's going on here. I mean, I know it's late at night, but... Is it just 8 drivers in the playoffs, or is it... It's a 10 race playoff, and it says round of 16. But the wins, I don't even know what's going on here. So this is technically the playoff grid right here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Bottom of the grid. Yeah, that's the bottom. I'm confused, man. So yeah, so it's a round of 16. There's 16 drivers in the playoffs, and the wins should be automatically in, as you know, the normal playoff rules would be concerned. So that means Kenseth and Elliott should not be in the playoffs because Ricky Stenhouse has a win. He's in the top 30. And Ty Dillon has 2 wins and finished inside the top 30. So Kenseth and Elliott shouldn't be in the playoffs. But not only that, it only shows 8 drivers in a 16 fielded playoff, 16 car playoff field. I don't know why it's only showing 8. And another thing, none of the playoff points counted. So everybody's tied. So none of those wins mattered. Literally none of them. Not even the first win to lock us into the playoffs, because I guess we didn't need a win to make the playoffs. Does that mean Chase is in? I don't know. I guess we're not going to find out until we start the Richmond race tomorrow. If it's like NASCAR Heat 4, they'll have on the leaderboard ticker, everybody in green will be in the playoffs. So if that's still the same, then I guess we'll find out who's exactly in the playoffs while we're running the race. But as far as until we get this thing started, I have no clue. What's the point of a custom schedule season when you create a playoffs if it's not even using the right format? 10 races. It only shows 8 drivers in, and the wins don't count towards playoff points or actually getting a guaranteed spot in the playoffs. I don't know. That's yeah, we'll have to. I want everybody down in the chat to send the link to this stream to 704 Games on Twitter or whatever it may be, and be polite with it. I do have to say, be polite with it, because I will be doing the same. I'm not going to do it till I wake up in the morning, though. I need to go to bed. Well, I guess that's going to wrap it up for the stream. Whatever happened here tonight, I don't know going forward as far as the playoffs and how that's going to work. But stay tuned tomorrow. We got the playoffs coming up. And you can't take away the fact that we did get career win number 100 for Jimmy Johnson, regardless of what happened tonight. So that is for sure. That is in the record books. But yeah, great race nonetheless. Great road course racing. We're not done with that. We still got the Roval and a couple races. So see you guys at Richmond tomorrow. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, such as these full race live streams with a realistic broadcast as you saw tonight, and other daily NASCAR related content. More videos for the Michigan doubleheader tomorrow as well. And I'll see you guys in the afternoon. Yeah, noon Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So see you guys then. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.